So I was going on missions trips, fairly early on, consistently throughout my high school career. And then I went probably between my first and second year of college. So I wanted to do economic development as my way of demonstrating, in a sense, God's love for people in a very practical way. So that's the part that I was focused on. I knew that I loved business, but I felt like that was probably my best expression. When I went and tried to pursue various opportunities, it was like doors closed. So my parents basically called and said, hey, would you like to come during tax season? And I always just kind of blew them off like, I don't really need to be involved with the family business. When all the other doors closed and I got that call, it was like, okay, maybe I need to come back and explore this. I'm a person who always wants to push and drive growth. So anyway, in that sense, it was a fit. But my dad was already in this way, already seeing himself as a minister in finances. I think what happens is, as you spend time with people at all levels of society, and you recognize what knowing they have a sense of dignity and worth does for them, it really means that they exercise power, I believe, by and large, constructively, especially if they're given guidance to do so on how to influence things. And those are the sorts of things that I carry with me in my business here. We're asking questions, how are we expressing that we're for people? And that's a huge part of our approach, is we're always, like for me, the idea of driving business growth is driving it by asking, how are we expressing that we're for people? We're trying to affirm that we have a real value for people there, and also for the life and the well-being of the community. But I really do try to curate the selection of the choices according to who people are. And the only way to do that, of course, is to have the values and goals conversation. You need to know who the people are in order to be able to make, I think, intelligent suggestions. But that's a part of also comprehensive wealth management too. If you're doing comprehensive wealth management, you have a sense of their tax picture, which helps you know who to make the recommendations to. You have a sense of their estate planning, so you get also a sense of whether they have charitable intent. You have all these things that are tied into it, and you really can help them create a coherent picture. And we are typically now asking for people to make a commitment to save a certain amount. And it's like, if you're willing to save this percentage, then we're going to work with you and we'll create an agreement that helps you win. There is an aspect where the generosity that we're espousing also extends to our time, as it were, and being willing to embrace some relationships that might be less formally profitable, because we're defining our value and the impact of our serve or our well-being by the scope and the breadth of it as well. I used to say to people, I'm headed to the top and I want to take you there with me. I want as many people as I know up at the top with me. And that doesn't mean at the highest echelon of wealth. That means at the highest echelon of them using what gifts God has given them, their time, talents, and treasure in a way that's meaningful. Certainly their financial well-being is a key part of that, but it is just a wellness of personhood. And I'm going to measure or evaluate the success of our business by how well we do things holistically in that regard. We're going to care actually for the personal and spiritual well-being of people who meet with us, even if they don't want to have those conversations,